Paddle sports are growing in popularity and for plenty of good reasons. You can explore, fish, or just get out and enjoy the incredible waters that we have in America. And if you're into adventure, there's nothing more exciting than paddling white water. We've come to Charlemont, Massachusetts to meet our first expert, Janet Burnett-Cowie. Janet's been paddling and teaching since 1982 and is an ACA Swiftwater Rescue Instructor, Tandem Solo Canoe Instructor, and ACA Whitewater Kayak Instructor Trainer Educator. Janet is also the Director of Instruction Programs at Zor Outdoor. She's helped grow the instruction program to become one of the premier kayak schools in the country.
Janet, that was some pretty amazing paddling, but a little too wild for me.
It is a whole lot of fun, and with proper training and equipment, the risk is manageable.
Well, that's why I'm here, is to tap your knowledge to learn some tips and techniques on how to do it safely.
Well, glad to help. Tell me, what have you done in the past?
Well, you know, like most people, I got a family canoe, but my skills are pretty basic.
Paddling is a great activity as long as you know what you're doing. So what we're going to do is we're going to be in a kayak today instead of a canoe. I'm going to meet you downstream in a flat water section of river. Why don't you push me off and I'll meet you there.
Okay, see you in a few minutes.
So Ted, kayaks come in all shapes and sizes depending on what you're paddling. These touring kayaks are longer than my whitewater kayak. Touring kayaks have storage on the deck and in the hatches and are made for long distance paddling. The whitewater kayak is made for speed and agility. So let's talk about the gear you'll need. First of all, you'll need your life jacket. And I know you don't go out with the expectation of flipping over, but it does happen. The rule of thumb, even for experts, is to put it on before you get in the kayak and wear it while you're on board. There are specific types of life jackets for paddlers designed to be comfortable for all-day paddling. They're constructed with flotation mainly in the chest and back and have generous space for the arms so you can paddle unrestricted. The jacket should fit properly, not too tight, but snug enough that it will not ride up when you are in the water. Ted, why don't you put on your life jacket? I have whistles in all my life jackets since you're required to carry a sound signaling device. If you find yourself in the water or in need of help, it's much better to have a whistle that carries over half a mile than trying to yell for help. Another great way to attract attention and let others know you need help is with visual distress signals. Night visual distress signals are only required by law on manually powered boats if you are boating on one of the Great Lakes or an ocean and bodies of water wider than 2 miles between sunset and sunrise. But on large bodies of water, the small size of a kayak or canoe makes them very difficult to spot. That's why visual distress signals are important to carry day or night. And if you are paddling between sunset and sunrise, you will need proper navigation lights prescribed for a paddlecraft. If you were planning on staying out for a while and doing some cruising, you would dress for the water temperature, not the air temperature, and generally carry some extra dry clothes. Depending on the area and conditions that you are paddling in, some other items to consider are a helmet if you are paddling in swift water, a spray skirt to keep the water out of your boat, a paddle float to aid in self-rescue, a navigation chart, compass, a throw rope, GPS, a first aid kit, bailing pump, and a spare paddle if you have room. Taking a paddling course will also give you the information on the extra gear you may need for the type of paddling you will be doing.
So Janet, if I want to make a day of it, how would I store everything I want to bring along with me?
Well, weight distribution and balance is critical in a kayak. You can put your gear in waterproof dry sacks and then balance them throughout the boat.
Okay, so we've got all the gear we need. What's next?
This is probably a good time to mention the importance of filing a float plan. If you are going touring or even just for a relaxing paddle on your favorite lake, let someone know where you are going and when you expect to return. Instruct your friend to notify the authorities if you do not return within a reasonable amount of time. Let your friend know the color and number of kayaks in your group and what communication and visual distress signals you have on board. And it is important to let your friend know when you have returned or any change of the plan to avoid an unnecessary search for you.
A float plan is a good idea. On a large body of water, search and rescue efforts will be concentrated on your planned route, and if you need help, It'll be found a lot faster.
That's right. Now let's get you in your kayak.
Okay.
All right, so what I'd like you to do is the kayak's already floating in the water, so all you need to do is place the paddle on the back of the cockpit rim, which is behind the seat.
Okay.
Step in front of the paddle. And what you're going to do is squat down on the ground. The kayak is kind of low today, so go ahead and sit on the grass. And you're going to grab the kayak paddle with one hand in the back of the cockpit with that same hand. Support yourself on that kayak paddle and shimmy yourself across, placing one leg at a time into the cockpit and slide on into the kayak. Great.
Well, that's a pretty comfortable fit. Janet, what about a spray skirt?
Spray skirts are great for whitewater or in rough water where the water may get in your cockpit. But today is a beautiful, calm day, so we won't have to worry about it.
Now, how do I hold my paddle?
Well, paddles come in all shapes and sizes depending on what you're doing. But what you do want to do is hold your hands at comfortable shoulder width apart.
Okay.
Now these right knuckles should be aligned with the narrow part of the blade, and you want to hold it firmly. The left hand is loose, so it's righty-tighty, lefty-loosey.
Okay.
Good. So what you want to do is put the right blade in the water. As it comes through and comes out of the water, cock the right wrist back, and then left blade goes in the water. And you just repeat. So Ted, now that you know how to hold a kayak paddle, let's talk about how to maneuver the kayak. The first stroke we're going to do is called the forward stroke. What you want to do is place your kayak blade and paddle up towards your toes. You're going to bring the kayak paddle through the water, take it out at your hips, and repeat. I'm using my large muscle groups to power this because I don't want to use my little small muscle groups. I want to use my back, chest, your stomach. Take a look at this.
Hey, Janet, where are the brakes?
Just back paddle, Ted. Slow yourself down. Great job. Why don't you do a sweep stroke to turn your kayak around? Up at the front, to the back of the kayak, the back of the kayak, to the front. Awesome. Let's paddle forward.
Hey, Janet, how's my stroke? Think I'm ready for some white water?
Well, Ted, you do look like someone that's about to get wet. Good posture and balance is essential in kayaking. You want to sit up straight, be proud to be a kayaker. Slightly lean forward so you can rotate around your spine for good paddling technique. The other thing you want to do is separate your upper and lower body, like you're doing a hula dance. There you go, separate it. Nice. Remember, loose hips saves flips. The other thing you want to do is keep an active paddle blade. If the paddle is in the water, you're more stable. If you stop like deer in the headlights, there's a chance you might fall over. So when in doubt, paddle it out.
And Janet, what happens if I do capsize?
First of all, a good plan is to never paddle alone. Always travel with one kayaker, two is preferable. That way you have someone to help you right the boat, empty it of water, and get back in. However, you should learn and practice the techniques for self-rescue. You could use a technique like a kayak roll to right yourself and stay in the kayak, but that's an advanced technique that takes training and lots of practice. You should know how to do a wet exit. A wet exit is how you get out of the kayak once it flips upside down. It's really quite easy, but you need to practice it over and over till it's second nature before you really need it. What you want to do is tuck forward, bring your paddle to the side, and push yourself away from the kayak, and don't come up from here till you're totally clear of the kayak. So remember to tuck forward and push yourself out of the kayak. If you are close to shore, you may choose to swim to shore with your kayak and re-enter there. But if you are at a distance from shore, you will need to know how to right and re-enter your kayak in the water. If you are with other kayakers, they can help you flip your kayak over, empty it of water, and assist with your re-entry. If you are separated from your friends, you will have to do it yourself. Many paddlers carry a paddle float to assist with their re-entry. The paddle float acts as an outrigger and stabilizes the kayak. And this takes some instruction and practice, and that's where it really pays to take a course.
So Janet, what about my stroke? How am I doing?
Ted, you're looking great. You have great posture and an active paddle blade.
You know, there's so much to learn here.
Ted, we've only just started. You need proper instruction, and you can get that at many places. The United States Power Squadrons offer a course called Paddle Smart, developed in cooperation with the ACA, the American Canoe Association. ACA-trained instructors also run on-water paddle courses for kayaks and canoes all over the country. If you are serious about paddling and want to enjoy it to the fullest, find a course and take it.
So Janet, where are we going?
Not too far. When you're in a kayak, at least starting out, choose a site that's appropriate for your skill level. Big water, big waves, and inexperience do not mix.
You know, I can understand why kayaks are so popular with their shallow draft and their transportability, especially in remote areas. Now tell me something, what kind of communication equipment do you normally carry?
A lot of people carry their cell phones in a waterproof case, and that's a good idea. An even better idea is to carry a waterproof VHF marine radio if you need to call for help. With a VHF radio, everyone within range and tuned in can hear your call. With a cell phone, you never know if you have coverage in remote areas. If you are going into the backwater, there are some good and inexpensive emergency transmitters that use satellites to get the signal out. These provide coverage almost everywhere.
So Janet, what about weather?
Well, first off, don't go out in bad weather and be prepared if it comes upon you. If you're paddling close to shore, you have an opportunity to paddle safety if you need to.
You know, I've been boating for a long time, and I can generally predict weather patterns. Like, the clouds haven't changed too much while we've been out, but the wind has. And I predict by tomorrow, we're gonna have some bad weather here.
Well, Ted, not everyone is as experienced as you. That's why it's a good idea to carry a marine VHF radio in areas where the Marine Weather Service is available.
Now, let's talk a little bit about rules of the road for kayaks.
A kayak is a vessel after all, but frankly, you probably won't get in too much trouble if you don't know the aids to navigation. However, it is helpful to know navigational aids because you can predict where the other boats will be traveling in relation to those markers. And then you can anticipate what they will be doing. Powered boats and sailboats must give way to paddlers under most circumstances. Keep in mind that they might not know the rules, so don't think you are safe. Always keep an eye out. Also, you cannot block the way of a boat constrained by its draft or ability to maneuver. Now, if a boat does pass close to you and is throwing up a big wake, don't waste your time and balance expressing your displeasure. Try to turn your kayak into the oncoming wake, stay relaxed, and keep paddling to remain stable, and ride it out. There is a rule of thumb that says tonnage rules, so stay clear of large boats.
Sounds good to me.
So, Ted, how are you enjoying your time?
Oh, I'm really enjoying it. I can really understand why people like kayaking so much. Of course, not that I would give up canoeing, mind you. I can also see where a little bit of technique and practice can go a long way to helping you enjoy your time on the water more.
Absolutely, and keep in mind we've only touched on just a few basics.
Well, Janet, I want to thank you for your patience. I'm certainly a lot more knowledgeable than when I first started out, and I'm definitely going to take some more lessons. Maybe a little bit of white water.
Anytime, Ted. So, last one to shore buys lunch.
To get more out of your paddling, take an on-the-water course, like Paddle Smart with the United States Power Squadrons, or one of the courses offered by the American Canoe Association. You might also check out your local outfitter or paddling club. Often they offer courses ranging from basic to advanced. Proper instruction is the key to enjoying your time paddling. And who knows, you might even work your way up to some white water.